All right, step one, clean your mold lines. This can be as simple or as complex as you would like to make it. We can be as simple as strictly cleaning the points of contact to the sprue from where it touched, or it can be as complex as cleaning the entire mold line itself, which if you're unfamiliar, take your sprue, hold it sideways, or horizontal, I guess technically, and that's how the mold is pressed. So any excess plastic gets pushed out to the edges, and that is your mold line, which you would then basically take your file or your X-Acto and clean along this horizon perimeter of the piece. And that's your mold line. Clean them, because they're messy. Done. Step one. Step two, primer. There are many types of primer. You can get brush-ons, airbrush, aerosol. I typically stick with spray paint cans because I'm lazy. This step's very important because it helps the paint stick better to your miniature, which I learned the hard way what happens when you don't prime your mini. So don't be like me. Stay in school. So, the important thing to remember when spraying with an aerosol can is you want to take your mini, you want to start spraying to the side of the mini, spray across the mini, and then release off the mini. And you're basically going to repeat this process. This is because while you're spraying, you get paint buildup on your nozzle, and it typically, when you release and when you start spraying, is when that buildup is shot or propelled off. So you don't want to be doing that on straight at your mini, or else you're going to get splatter all over your mini. So start off, spray across, finish, and repeat. And you're good. Step two, done. Step three, your base and your layering. Keep it thin, keep it light. You can always, the important thing to remember here is you can always add more paint on. You cannot take it away. So if you put it on thick initially, A, you're going to be covering up potential detail, and B, you're shooting yourself in the foot because you put it on too thick. So thin coats. Do it. Step four, get a grip on life and on your mini. So getting a grip for your mini is vitally important. You don't have to pay for an actual grip from Citadel, but Citadel makes an amazing grip. Fits every size of your mini bases. I love it. Citadel, notice me, senpai. But this gives you a better grip on your mini. This makes it so you're not holding it in your hand while you're painting it, which is convenient at times, but people don't realize that our hands naturally have a lot of oils which counteract with the paints that you're putting on and will actually rub off the paint. So you're working against yourself. You spend countless hours putting this fine detail on your mini, and then you rub it off because you greasy, dirty hands. So don't do that. Get a grip. You can either buy one, or the simple way where I would take double-sided tape, and then would literally basically just take my paint tubes and would put the tape on top, and then would just tape the mini to that, and would just hang on to my paint tub. And then you can spin it around and do whatever you want. Step four, get a grip. Step five, shading and highlighting. This can be as complex as you sitting there and very finely detailing your shades and your highlights. If you want to be lazy and simple like me, you can just get Citadel shades. I primarily use Null Oil and Agrix Earth Shade. These work very well you apply them on very liberally, and they will pull up in the recesses, creating shades or shadows, and they will be thinner on your raised highlight spots, creating highlights. If it pulls too much, you can simply just pull it off with the brush. Really quick, really easy, fast way to make your mini really pop. Step five. Step six, dry brush. Take a dry brush and dry brush. You're gonna dab it in the paint, get as little paint as possible. I'll even wipe off, sit there and do a couple strokes just to really get the paint off. You're essentially getting as much paint off of the brush as possible, which is drying the paint that's still on the bristles, and then you're going to then dry brush that onto your miniature. I typically do this over my highlight spots after I do the shade, because then this will really pop those highlights. Dry brush. 7. Basing. Basing can be as simple or as complex as you want it. It all depends on how you want your narrative or your story of your piece to be. You can be as simple as this one, or more complex like this, or you can technically get even more complex. 8. Sealing. It's very important to seal your finished minis with a varnish or something to basically create a seal around the miniature that you have spent so much ungodly time painting. If you don't, then your greasy, dirty paws are going to rub off all the paint that you just spent so much time painting. So, seal your minis. Step 8. Step 9. Enjoy yourself. It's very easy in this hobby to get caught up with the fine details, no pun intended, and forget why we truly do this hobby. It's meant to be fun, it's supposed to be enjoyable, so make that your first priority. Have fun. Or don't, it's your life, do what you want, you know? Step 9. Step 10, pet your cat. Look at that, I'm done. Have a good day. Oh, yeah. Daddy needs a new dry brush. Hello, my wizards, witches, and warlocks. Thanks for watching. This was a fun video to make. I am by no means an expert on any of this. I've only been doing miniatures for about a month. I've avoided it for so long, and I finally gave in, and here we are. But I learned a lot over the first month and kind of wanted to make a quick kind of tutorial video to myself if I could show this to myself when I first got started. It's basically beginner to beginner. These are things I wish I had known before I started, and it would have saved me a lot of headache and a lot of trouble. Because I still notice those gosh darn nasty mold lines on my Kurnoth hunters. But hey, it's a learning process. And always remember step 9, have fun with it. If you liked the video, smack that like button. If you disliked it, double tap that dislike button. Subscribe if you're not already a part of the Wizards Guild. Come join our wonderful adventure, and have a blessed day.